This video didn't fully exist until your consciousness collapsed the wave of probability and chose to observe it. Take a deep breath. You are not here by accident. You are here because a part of you, a deep inner knowing, has been searching for this specific truth. We are going to talk about those strange moments, the phantom doorbell, the disembodied voice that whispers your name when no one is around, the sound of a phone that isn't ringing. For too long, you've been told these are tricks of the mind. Today, I am here to tell you they are openings. They are proof of your power as a conscious observer. By the end of this transmission, you will not only understand what these sounds truly are, but you will also know how they serve as a key to unlocking your ability to consciously navigate reality. Before we begin, I want you to go to the comments right now and answer this. Have you ever experienced a sound that had no physical source? Let the field know you are listening. Before we can decode these phantom sounds, you must first understand the landscape in which they occur. Let go of the idea that reality is a single, solid, fixed thing. Instead, picture it as a vast, infinite ocean of pure potential. This is what we call the quantum field. It is the unmanifested, holding the energetic blueprint for every possible experience, every possible timeline, every possible version of you. It is a sea of vibrating waves of probability. Nothing is solid here. Everything simply is in a state of pure potential. So what turns this infinite potential into the tangible, physical reality you experience? Your consciousness, your observation is not a passive act of seeing. It is an active, creative force. When you place your attention on something, you are taking that fluid wave of probability and collapsing it into a particle, a definite physical experience. You are the lens through which the unmanifested becomes manifest. This is the true observer effect, not as a scientific curiosity, but as the fundamental mechanic of creation. Let's begin with the common experience. You're home alone, perhaps reading or meditating, in a state of quiet focus. Suddenly you hear the clear, distinct chime of your doorbell. You instinctively get up to check, but the porch is empty. The street is silent. The logical mind immediately scrambles for an explanation. A technical glitch, a neighbor's bell carried on the wind, your brain playing tricks on you. These are the stories we tell ourselves to maintain the illusion of a single, stable reality. But what if the sound was perfectly real? What if you heard it because, for a fraction of a second, your consciousness was perfectly aligned with a timeline where someone was, in fact, at your door? These are not auditory hallucinations. They are auditory overlaps. They are echoes from a reality that is just as real as this one, existing simultaneously in the exact same space you occupy right now. It's the first clue that the world is far more layered and complex than it appears. The reason we dismiss these sounds is because we are conditioned to believe in a singular, objective reality. But quantum metaphysics reveals that this is a grand illusion. Reality is subjective and participatory. What you're experiencing is not the reality, but your reality, selected from an infinite menu of possibilities by the frequency of your consciousness. Think of it like a radio. There are countless stations broadcasting simultaneously in the room you are in right now. Rock, classical, news, talk shows. You only hear the one you've tuned your receiver to. The other stations don't cease to exist just because you aren't listening to them. They are still there, their waves filling the same space. Your consciousness is that receiver. And a phantom sound is what happens when, just for a moment, the dial slips and you pick up a snippet of a broadcast from a station playing a slightly different song on a slightly different timeline. Now let's go deeper into the nature of space itself. We perceive the room we are in as solid, filled with objects that have definite locations. A chair is here, a table is there. But this is a sensory limitation. At a quantum level, space is not empty. It is a plenum, a vibrant, energetic medium that contains all realities simultaneously. Parallel timelines are not in some distant galaxy or another dimension in the way we typically think. They are right here. They are superimposed, interpenetrating this very room, this very chair you are sitting on. Imagine hundreds of transparent films, each with a slightly different scene, all stacked on top of one another. Your current reality is simply the one film that your consciousness is focused on, making it appear opaque and solid while the others remain transparent and unseen. A phantom sound is a moment of bleed-through where the audio from one of the other films becomes momentarily audible. So, if all these realities are coexisting, what separates them? The answer is frequency, vibration. Everything in the quantum field, including every possible version of reality, has a unique vibrational signature. Think of it as a cosmic address. Your current life, with its specific memories, relationships, and circumstances, vibrates at a particular frequency. A parallel life, where you made a different key decision years ago, vibrates at a slightly different frequency. These differences in vibration are what typically keep the timelines distinct and separate, preventing us from experiencing all possible realities at once, which would be overwhelmingly chaotic for our human nervous system. The separation is not physical, it is vibrational. This is a crucial understanding. You don't need to travel through space to reach another timeline. You only need to shift your frequency to align with it. And these phantom sounds are proof that such shifts are not only possible, but they are already happening spontaneously. Your consciousness is the master tuner in this quantum orchestra. It is not static. Its frequency is constantly fluctuating based on your thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and focus. When you are in a state of deep meditation, intense creativity, or even profound grief or joy, your vibrational state is altered. You are literally changing your channel. In these heightened states, the rigid boundaries between your current timeline and adjacent ones can become more permeable, more fluid. This is when the overlaps occur. You are not just a passenger in reality, you are the pilot, and your inner state is the control panel that determines which reality you perceive. A phantom sound is a form of biofeedback from the universe. It is a notification that says, your frequency has just shifted. For a moment, you were tuned into a different broadcast. It is a direct, experiential confirmation of your creative power. Let's analyze the conditions under which these sounds often occur. They rarely happen when you are distracted, stressed, or fully engrossed in the mundane drama of the external world. They tend to happen in the quiet moments, in the liminal spaces, when you are drifting off to sleep or just waking up, when you are lost in a creative flow. Why? Because in these states, the conscious, analytical mind, the gatekeeper of your consensus reality, is relaxed. Its grip loosens. Your awareness expands beyond the five senses, becoming more sensitive to the subtle, energetic currents of the quantum field. You become a more finely tuned receiver. The static of everyday mental chatter dies down, allowing you to perceive signals that were there all along but were previously drowned out. These phantom sounds are not invading your reality. Your expanding consciousness is reaching out and momentarily touching another. Consider the specific sound of a doorbell. A doorbell is a signal. It signifies an arrival, a visitor, an announcement that someone or something is at your threshold. When you hear a phantom doorbell, ask yourself, what is arriving in my life? In the parallel timeline you briefly connected with, someone is at the door. Perhaps it is a version of you who is receiving a long-awaited opportunity. Perhaps it's a version of you welcoming a person you have been wanting to connect with. This sound is a symbolic echo. It's the quantum field letting you know that what you are seeking is at the door of a very near, adjacent reality. It is a powerful affirmation that your desire has been manifested in a parallel stream of experience. Your job isn't to create it from scratch, but to vibrationally align with the you who is already opening that door. The sound is the universe telling you how close you are. Now let's examine an even more personal and often unsettling experience, hearing your name called by a disembodied voice. This can be startling, but it is one of the most significant forms of timeline overlap. Your name is your unique vibrational identifier in this incarnation. It is a sonic key that unlocks your attention. When you hear your name called from the void, it is often a call from another version of yourself. In a nearby timeline, a version of you is being summoned, or perhaps is calling out to someone. For a moment, your consciousness gets its wires crossed. You are picking up on a signal meant for another you. Why does this happen? It often occurs when you are at a crossroads, contemplating a major decision. The other you, the one who took the other path, is energetically so close that their reality bleeds into yours. It's a reminder that your choices create branches in your timeline, and all those branches are real. It is essential to reframe this entire experience. We have been taught to fear what we don't understand, to label the unusual as a symptom of disorder. But these moments are not a sign that something is wrong with you. They are a sign that something is profoundly right. It means your consciousness is becoming more flexible, more multidimensional. You are outgrowing the container of a single, linear reality. You are beginning to activate your latent spiritual senses, your ability to perceive beyond the physical. A phantom sound is a graduation certificate from the school of purely material existence. It is the universe congratulating you, saying, "You are waking up, you are beginning to see the seams of the matrix." You are remembering that you are a multi-dimensional being having a temporary, focused human experience. Treat these moments not with fear, but with reverence and curiosity. But why are these experiences so fleeting? Why just a single chime, a brief whisper, and then silence? This is a protective mechanism of your consciousness. A full, sustained overlap of two or more realities would be disorienting and potentially destabilizing to your current sense of self and your nervous system. Your higher self, or the larger intelligence of your consciousness, allows only brief glimpses. These are carefully calibrated downloads of information, designed to awaken you without overwhelming you. The goal is not to live in two realities at once, but to become aware of their existence. It's like a quick peek behind the curtain to remind you that there is a stage crew and a much larger play in progress. The brevity of the experience is a feature, not a bug. It provides just enough of a stimulus to spark your curiosity and lead you down the path of deeper inquiry, which is exactly what you are doing right now by watching this video. Let's bring this back to the observer effect. In quantum physics, a particle does not have a definite state until it is observed. Until then, it exists as a wave of all possibilities. This principle applies to your reality on a macro scale. The adjacent timeline where the doorbell rang was in a state of potential relative to you. It was a wave. The moment your consciousness, through a vibrational shift, was able to perceive its sound, you momentarily observed it. For that split second, you collapsed the wave function of two realities simultaneously. You were the observer in your reality where no one was at the door, and the observer in the other reality where someone was. You held two distinct possibilities in your field of awareness at the same time. This is an advanced act of consciousness. It is a testament to your innate ability to perceive beyond the limitations of a single, linear perspective. What about other phantom sounds, like a muffled television from an empty room, or a baby crying when there are no babies in the house? Each sound is a specific clue about the nature of the adjacent reality you are touching. A muffled TV might suggest a parallel self who is relaxing or receiving information. A crying baby could connect to a timeline where you are a parent, or it could be a symbolic representation of a new project or idea that needs your attention, a new birth in your life. Do not dismiss these sounds. The next time you experience one, don't just brush it off. Pause, close your eyes, thank your consciousness for the signal, ask a simple question. What is this sound showing me? What version of my reality am I connecting with right now? The feeling or intuition you get in that moment is the answer. You are learning to read the language of the quantum field. This phenomenon is also deeply connected to the concept of synchronicity. Synchronicity is often described as a meaningful coincidence. You think of an old friend and they call you a minute later. You have a question and the answer appears on a billboard. We often see these as external events, but what if synchronicity is just another form of timeline overlap. When you think of your friend, you are vibrationally aligning with a timeline where you are about to connect with them. Their subsequent call is the bleed-through, the physical manifestation of that alignment. A phantom sound is a purely auditory synchronicity. It is a non-physical event that signals an alignment with another potential reality. It is the universe's way of winking at you, confirming that your inner world of thought and feeling is actively shaping the outer world you experience and even the worlds you momentarily glimpse. How can you cultivate this ability? How can you become more sensitive to these signals? The key is to practice presence and stillness. The more you can quiet the noise of the analytical mind, the more you can hear the subtle whispers of the universe. Meditation is the most direct path. By regularly entering a state of no mind, you are training your awareness to detach from this singular reality and rest in the infinite potential of the quantum field. You become a clearer channel. Pay attention to your dreams, as the dream state is a natural gateway to other timelines. Keep a journal of any strange sounds, synchronicities, or intuitive hits. By giving these experiences your attention and validation, you are signaling to the universe that you are ready for more. You are saying, "I am open, show me what is behind the veil." And the universe will always respond to a sincere invitation. The implications for manifestation are staggering. Most people approach manifestation as if they are trying to create something out of nothing. They struggle and strive to pull a desire into their reality. But a deeper understanding reveals that you don't have to create anything. The version of you who already has everything you desire, the perfect health, the loving relationship, the abundant career, already exists. That reality is running concurrently to this one, separated only by vibration. Hearing a phantom sound is proof of this. It's proof that you can, and do, shift between these timelines. Therefore, the art of manifestation is not about creation, but about selection. It is the art of consciously and consistently tuning your vibrational frequency to match the reality you wish to experience, until that reality becomes your dominant, stable perception. You are not building a new house, you are simply walking into a room that was already there. So, the next time you hear a phantom sound, what should you do? First, do not react with fear or dismissal. React with calm, centered awareness. Take a deep breath to anchor yourself in the present moment. Acknowledge what you heard. You can even say out loud, "I acknowledge this connection, I am aware." This simple act of validation is incredibly powerful. It reinforces the neural pathways in your brain associated with multidimensional perception. Second, get curious. Gently ask your inner self what this means. Is it a confirmation, a preview, a message? Pay attention to the first thought, image, or feeling that arises. This is your intuition translating the vibrational data into a language you can understand. You are moving from being a passive recipient of these glitches to an active co-creator, using them as a navigation system. This awareness fundamentally changes your relationship with reality. You begin to understand that you are not a victim of circumstance. You are not a tiny, insignificant being tossed about by a random universe. You are an infinite consciousness, a powerful point of awareness projecting a sliver of your totality into this specific experience. The phantom sounds are your own larger consciousness, knocking on the door of your human awareness, reminding you of who you truly are. They are wake-up calls designed to shatter the illusion of separation and limitation. Each sound is a thread pulling you towards the realization that you are the dreamer, and this reality is but one of your many, many dreams. And as the dreamer, you have the power to change the dream at any moment. Let's think about déjà vu in this context. Déjà vu is the overwhelming feeling that you have experienced the present moment before. What is it really? It is a memory bleed from a parallel timeline. In a very near reality, a version of you has already lived this exact moment. When your timelines get close enough to overlap, you receive the memory of their experience as a strange, ghostly feeling of familiarity. It's the same mechanism as the phantom sound, but on a full sensory level. It's another piece of evidence that your life is not a single, straight line from A to B. It is a vast, branching tree of possibilities, and you are constantly, subtly interacting with your other selves who are exploring the other branches. You are far bigger and more connected than you have ever been led to believe. So, how can you use this knowledge proactively? You can begin to treat your desired reality not as a distant future, but as an adjacent present. Close your eyes and feel what it would feel like to be the you who has what you want. Don't just visualize it, embody the frequency of it. What would that you be thinking? How would they be feeling? How would they carry themselves as you marinate in that frequency? You are literally tuning your receiver to that timeline. You are closing the vibrational gap. And as you do, you will start to notice more glitches, more phantom sounds, more synchronicities. These are the signs that you are getting closer, that the realities are beginning to overlap before they fully merge. The phantom sounds become your markers on the path, confirming that your intentional frequency shift is working. Finally, understand that this is not just a fascinating theory. This is the next stage of human evolution. We are evolving from a species that believes it is separate from its environment to one that knows it is inextricably linked with the quantum field. We are moving from a five-sense reality to a multisensory, multidimensional reality. The increasing reports of these phenomena are not a sign of mass delusion, but of a collective awakening. Your personal experience of a phantom sound is part of this global shift. You are a pioneer of consciousness, exploring the frontiers of reality. So listen closely. The universe is speaking to you. The other versions of you are calling. And the message is simple. Wake up. Remember your power. You are the creator of worlds. So you see, you are not a person living in reality. You are a point of consciousness through which a reality is being perceived and created. That phantom sound was never an illusion. It was a crack in the facade of a singular world, a momentary, beautiful glimpse into the infinite. It was a reminder that the life you desire, the healing you seek, the answers you are looking for, are not far away in some distant future. They exist right now in a parallel stream of experience, waiting for you to tune yourself to their frequency. You are not just a radio receiver, you are the one transmitting the signal that chooses the station. Thank you for allowing your consciousness to intersect with this transmission today. If this resonated with the truth within you, please support our collective awakening by liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more explorations into your true nature. To anchor this profound realization, go to the comments right now and declare, "I am the observer of infinite timelines." By writing it, you claim it. And now I leave you with a question to contemplate. What is the most significant phantom sound or synchronicity you have ever experienced? And what do you now believe it was trying to tell you? Share your stories below. Your experience is a key for someone else.